Hey guys, so today I'm here with something a little bit different. As noted in the title, today was a crap-tastic day. It was just a day full of suck, beyond words. Cannot even explain how bad it was, and I won't bore you with the details, but it was just really, really, really bad. So I was kind of putting off this video, but decided this was a day of suck. I'd like to end it on a note of something that was enjoyable, and that is doing this tag. I recently discovered Graveyard Girl's channel, Bunny, and I just fell in love with her because she's hilarious, and she's like bright sunshine and happiness, and she's just a lot of awesome, and she lives in my area too, so that's really cool. Well, I started watching some of her videos, and I really got interested in her paranormal videos, and I found her Paranormal Tag, and I was like, you know what, I've had a lot of experiences, I'm gonna go ahead and do this tag too. Now I realize this is not wax reviews or candles or organic stuff, naturals, so if you come, I'm hoping that regardless of why you come to my channel, that this might be something that a lot of people can empathize with. Maybe you've had your own experiences, and she started this tag, it was like a year ago, to just get more people in the paranormal community, people who've had experiences, to come out and just kind of talk about it, and to not be afraid, and just share your experiences with everybody. So I decided to go ahead and do it because I've had a lot. So let me go ahead and get started. There's 13 questions. Before I get started, actually, I have some tea here. My little tea cozy. Isn't that nice? You like that? Some green tea. And I have to sip on it because I can't do any thing like she does, but I would ruin it anyway because I'm not cool. Okay. Question number 1. How old were you when you had your first paranormal experience? I was 6 or 7, right around the cusp of my birthday, my 7th birthday. My grandmother passed away in May, and I turned 7 that following June. So I was actually living with my grandfather at the house to just kind of help him in his grieving process. Me and my grandmother were extremely close. She was like another mother to me. Me and my grandfather are extremely close as well, so it was helpful to for him in the grieving process, and for me to be close to her. Well, after about a week after she passed away, we started hearing toilets flushing and doors opening and closing on their own, which we had never, ever experienced anything like that before. And we weren't afraid. We weren't afraid. My grandpa, love him to pieces, but he's a chicken. He's a yellow-bellied chicken. He's scared of things like that, and he wasn't afraid. He knew it was my grandma. I, even at such a young age, knew it was my grandmother. It only lasted for maybe about a month, and then it went away, and never came back, and we were kind of sad because we liked having her in the house. Number 2, have you always believed in ghosts? As far as I can remember back, like I said, my first experience was whenever I was 6, 7 years old. I don't really have a whole lot of recollection from the time past or before that, but yeah, and it's not really so much believed, just experienced it, and so therefore I accepted it. You have enough stuff happen to you enough times, and you go from being a skeptic to just accepting it for what it is. So yeah, I've always believed. Number 3, where is your favorite place to investigate? Investigation is not something that I've done, nor is it something that I'm really wanting to do, because I'm very sensitive, and it's not something, I don't have to seek it out. It finds me. And it was only this, I want to say last year, that I got to become completely comfortable with it whenever it seeks me out. So I don't necessarily want to go looking for it. I don't know. It would depend on the situation and who I was with. Where is your favorite place to investigate? This, obviously, I just repeated a question. Number 4. What is your favorite investigating tool? Like I said, I don't investigate. Wow. Woo! Yeah. It was very windy here today. See if I can get this. Okay. There we go. Seriously. If I were to go on some sort of investigation, I would probably just take my camera, because I don't really need a tool. Like, I'm very intuitive. I feel it. I don't see. I don't want to see. I think seeing full body apparitions, things like that, would probably terrify me. And so therefore I don't see a whole lot. And what I see is a lot of peripheral things. But I think you can shut things out if you're too afraid. And I think that's kind of what I've done. But I don't really need a tool. I might take a camera just to take pictures, but that kind of falls into the category of seeing things I don't know if I want to see. So, yeah. Number 5, what is your scariest paranormal experience? I was 11 or 12. I had conned my grandfather into buying me a Ouija board, thinking it was fun. It's in the game aisle, right? You know. Sat down in a bed with my next door neighbor, my close friend Kristen, and we were playing with it, doing the haha, you're moving it thing. Eventually it started moving on its own to a point where we were beginning to become a little afraid. We were facing each other on my bed, side of the bed right here. We both looked up at each other, and I watched my friend's, all the color in her face just ran. It just seemed like she just went white as a sheet. And I think that I was mirroring her expression. We both looked to the side at the same time. There was something, we couldn't see it, but you could feel it. It was like static-y, like electric. Like whenever you stand too close to electricity and your body kind of buzzes, that's what it felt like. And it was standing over us, and it was breathing really heavy, kind of a growly, raspy breathing. I flipped out, threw the Ouija board across the room. We bolted out of the room, and I am convinced to this day that there is something negative that I brought in that house using a Ouija board. Now, I'm not saying that a Ouija board is demonic or evil or satanic or any of that other crap. I think it's a tool that some people use, and that you should have some experience doing it with people who have experience. It's not something that I would ever mess with again, even with my friends who use it as a tool. It's just not for me. Just that experience terrified me, and I lived with the consequences for a long time, having that energy in that house, and it's still there. It's creepy. Okay. What was your favorite paranormal experience? This kind of falls in paranormal, but not as in ghosts. I meditate, and I had a connection with what I think is my spirit guide, or a spirit guide. It was a guided meditation where you were giving yourself a bouquet of flowers, and it was supposed to be your self-acceptance, whatever these flowers were. And I remember in my meditation, in my vision, I hugged the flowers, hugging myself, giving myself self-love. And a lady grabbed me on the back of my shoulder to comfort me. And so that was an amazing experience that I will never forget. And so I kind of categorize that as that is my most significant and special and heartwarming paranormal experience. Do you know anyone else personally who has paranormal experiences? Yes, I do. A lot of friends, a lot of family. If you get people talking about it, and people feel like they're in safe company where they can discuss things like this, you would be surprised at things that come out of people's mouths, the experiences that they've had that they've been afraid to talk about. But so yeah, a lot of people that I know. Do you have trouble convincing friends and family about your paranormal experiences? I don't really talk about it with people, just randomly, other than this video. But I the negative energy that was in my house, it took me a really long time to convince and it wasn't even really my doing that convinced my mother. My parents didn't really believe me. My dad was kind of like, whatever. He didn't say yes or no. He believed whatever. He's very cool. My mom didn't really believe me. She was like, oh, it's your grandmother. I was like, that is not my grandmother. This is not good. If it could hurt me, it would. I'm telling you, there's something bad in this house. For years, she always blew it off. And then I moved out, and I got a phone call from her one day. I was living in my apartment. She calls me, and she's like, Kelly, I owe you an apology. I felt it today. And I was like, you felt what? And she's like, that thing that you said is in the house. She said, I felt it for the first time today. And I was like, I didn't like her having that experience because her experience was really scary for her. But I felt validated. Like, finally, you believe me. That's pretty much been the only time that I've really had to convince anybody or tried to convince anybody that, I was telling the truth. Okay, favorite paranormal TV show or movie? My favorite paranormal TV show, I kind of have two. One is Ghost Hunters. Everybody knows Ghost Hunters. It's awesome. I love Ghost Hunters. My ghost story on the Biography channel. I've really gotten into that lately. It's just, I really love that show. What would be your dream place to investigate? If I were going to investigate, I would want to go to New Orleans and take their cemetery tours or their haunted house tours or haunted tours. I would want to do that. That would be ideal for me. Do you prefer to investigate alone or in groups? I would definitely go in groups because safety in numbers. Like I said, I'm sensitive. Things kind of come to me when I don't invite them. So if I would be out there inviting, I would need somebody there to keep me grounded and to help me feel secure and to share energy. So, is your home haunted? I don't like to say haunted because it makes it sound so kooky and corny, like, ghosts flying through the living room going woo, and it's not like that. But yeah, there have been things in my house. There was something recently in my house. It was a male energy, and he was following me around a lot. He was standing close to my bed at night where it was just kind of creeping me out. I couldn't go to sleep. He opened the door on me whenever I was in the bathroom. Everybody else in the house was asleep. I was in the restroom, and he opened the door on me. And I had to finally kind of put my foot down and say, look, I don't mind you being here, but quit being a creeper, or I'm going to make you leave. But yeah, we've had things. I had a shadow person in my kitchen once, walked right by it, didn't even flinch, which is so unexpected. I can't believe, I'm appalled at my non-reaction to that. But yeah, straight up shadow person in my living room. In my kitchen. I had no malevolent feelings from it at all. But we've had, I would be here forever if I told you all the little things that have happened. My daughter saw, and I don't talk about this stuff with my daughter, because I don't want to influence her or anything, But my oldest daughter, she was seeing a little girl in the house for a while, and I actually smudged the house, and it made her finally feel comfortable. She said it was gone. So, last question. Have you ever had any paranormal experiences with animals? I think it was a couple months ago. Out of my peripheral, I saw a big, black, gnarly, fuzzy-looking cat. I talked to some of my friends who had experience with things like that, and I just kind of expressed my feelings. I said it was probably nothing to worry about. Something was probably just noticing and checking me out. But I felt really weird with it. I felt I was so creeped out. And even the friendlies can creep you out because it's a presence in your area, in your energy, in your general presence. And so that they can creep you out. And there's not necessarily any ill intent there, but this did not feel good. And so I was creeped out by that, but I didn't see it again, so I just kind of brushed it off as no big deal. The only other experience that I've had with an animal was actually whenever I was in my house, and I used to have a Cocker Spaniel named Frodo. I got home from school. I wasn't supposed to let him in the house during the day, but I did, and he bolted to the back of my house to the back bedroom, which was my parents' bedroom, and sat there and barked at the door, and I could not pull him away. He was growling and snarling and barking, and it terrified me, so I took off out of the house. I took off out of the house and I went next door to my friend's house, and I stayed there until my parents got home. And by that time, Frodo was calm. But that was the only other weird experience that I had involving an animal. So that's my experience. I would like to, or my experiences, I would love to share more if anybody's interested. If you have any questions, of course I'll answer, or I could collect questions and answer them in another video. I want to encourage this and kind of move it forward still to those who never saw the tag, who might have experiences. I want to encourage you to come out and just share your experiences. The worst thing that can happen is you're going to have somebody laugh at you or think that you're making it up or that you're full of crap. I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen, but something positive can come of it. You can share and encourage other people to come out and talk about their experiences, and then we can create this great community. So anyway, like I said, any questions, let me know. I don't know if I'll do another paranormal video. It depends on the response, I guess. But anyway, so thanks for watching, guys, and I hope y'all have a good day.